Last time I played Age of Empires 2 was in July of 2018. I watched a chunk of the VOD, so I think I'm more or less caught up. As I was booting up the game to test video settings, Nodovan actually pinged me and said, hey, did you know that there is a definitive edition that came out like 4 days ago that has better graphics and better pathing and is just better overall? And I said, no, shit, I didn't know that. I went to go download it, but it's too big. It's not going to finish installing in time for stream. So I guess I'll go ahead and do another episode in Age of Empires HD edition. And then I'll reach out to Definite Entity at some point in the future and see if they want me to switch to the definitive version. But yeah, I had no idea that another version had come out. I thought that the HD version was the one that you could play. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and continue my total suspension of the backseating policy. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm bad at RTS games. You guys want to help me out very directly, I would appreciate it. If this is the right save. Defeat the English army and destroy their tower. Scenario begins in a similar way to random map games. After you play the scenario, you should know all you need to do to play a random map game. Okay.
The time has come to take the offensive. The English have a fort near the town of Stirling. If we can defeat the English here, they may think twice about their invasion of Scotland.
I appreciate that.
Destroy the English tower to the west. Before we attack the English to the west, we need to build up our forces. Have your villagers start gathering food. You found some sheep? Sheep are a good source of food, so send them back to your town center and assign a villager to gather food from them. You can specify a location for new units to gather by selecting a gather point. For villagers, click the town center and click the Set Gather Point button.
Set Gather Point.
Villagers at your town center until you have 10.
I need to find it. It's pretty tiny, I think.
The faster your
Idle villager. I don't think I actually have any idle villagers at the moment. Okay, so they must already be gathering here. Looks like they started going for the fruit basically immediately. And then this character is just like going out and scouting automatically.
Poor fighters, but they can see a great distance. You can use your scout cavalry to explore the rest of the map and find the English.
Yeah, I remember for the first session I appreciated how beginner friendly the game was in general. I already finished this mission. Okay, do you know how I load my game then? Oh, it's a recorded game. I'm like, why am I not able to do anything? Why does it seem to be playing itself? Where's my... Where are my save files? Yeah, that's cool. And it's specifically Age of Empires 2 that just got a relaunch, right? Maybe it's campaign menu? No. Select the next mission in the campaign. So I can load this replay, and then I can back out and pick a different mission. I remember from watching the VOD that it was kind of janky in the original game. Like, okay, so I guess the ones that are grayed out are the ones that I've already done, I think.
Our coffers were
like when you beat a level, you have to quit out and then select the next one. It doesn't just automatically jump to it.
Before pushing south into lands held by the English, we need to construct a market and establish trade routes to the villages of friendly clans. Local legends speak of 3 sacred relics hidden south of Stirling. Acquiring these artifacts for Wallace's army will be a great boost to Scottish morale.
Capture 3 relics and garrison them in your monastery. Scenario uses advanced commands, although you don't need to use the interface to play Age of Empires 2. It does provide access to more powerful ways to control your civilization. If you lose your monks, you can make more when you get to the castle age.
The Scottish army has been rallied by recent victories against the English. Situation's starting to look up. Did you know that there are 3 different modes for the minimap in the lower right corner of the screen?
No, I didn't know that.
You can show only military units, or only resources and trade units by clicking
these guys
just below and to the right of the minimap. It will help the morale of our army to collect holy relics and place them in our monastery. One of the relics is close to your town. An ally has another relic, and the English have captured up there. You can retrieve a relic by clicking a monk and right-clicking the relic. Monks have other abilities as well. They can heal your injured soldiers or those of your allies. They can also attempt to convert enemy soldiers to join your army.
I really like the idle worker button. I wish this was a thing in StarCraft. I think I've got these guys gathering, aren't they? Still jumps to them when I... Is there a maximum number of units that can be farming at a time or something? Alright, so I should be sending my cavalry out to scout, right? Basically all the time. One villager per farm.
Farms are a good source of food once you've exhausted forage bushes and animals. Farms are built like buildings and must be periodically rebuilt. To gather food from a farm, click a villager, then right-click a farm.
If I want a cavalry to explore, is that entirely micro, or is there a way for me to like just automatically set them to look around? Patrol, I think, is what I was thinking of. No auto explore. Patrol just has them like move back and forth between two spaces. Okay, gotcha. So like, I have a lot of idle workers, but I don't see stuff for them to do that's obvious around the starting area. What could I use my workers for? I guess I could send them to mine this gold that I just found.
It's nice to have allies on the map. Your ally, the yellow flyer, can help you fight the enemy. You can also trade
Chop
with your
down trees.
To trade, you'll need to build a market.
Build more farms, okay. Sheep are a thing that I send a worker out to gather, right? They're like a resource node.
You've reached your ally's town. Go inside and see how his city's doing. Your ally's gate will open automatically for you.
Welcome. If you've come for the relic, you can find it on the hill to the northeast of our town.
Cool. Alright, so if I wanted to build more farms... Hold up. We'll see if I wanted to make more workers. Create villager, cost food, that's right. You need more houses to continue development. Okay. So if I want to build houses... Got my gather point already. If I discover sheep, I can move them directly. Statistics, help, combat, normal, economic. Villagers have to build buildings. Okay. I'll have one of them bail from food then. Buildings. So, house. Keep exploring with my dude over here, I guess. And when this thing is flashing in the corner, that's telling me, I know it's super tiny on the screen, it's part of the, I guess that's something they improved in the Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. This is one of the things I need. They made it so it scales better to higher resolutions. I tried just dropping my resolution, but it didn't seem to make that big of a difference. Alright, well I know I got these guys in my ally town. I need to send monks to get the relic, and that's one I should be able to get freely. So I'll just send him over there. Maybe he'll be fine. And there's a couple other relics that I have to find, so I'll try to keep exploring and see if I can track him down. Alright, so she's marked as being idle. Now I can create villagers because I have houses for them. Okay, got it. There's a mod for idle worker selection in StarCraft. Let's get it now. Okay, that monk is still heading over that way. already a relic? Oh, I didn't realize I was meant to grab that. Sure.
Good! You have a relic. Protect the relic in the monastery by right-clicking the monastery. Villagers and soldiers normally appear outside of the building that created them. You can have your units move to a spot once they're created by using gather points. To set a gather point for infantry,
often called a rally point in other RTS
set
games,
gather
is that
point,
right?
Then click where on the map you want your infantry to gather. Perfect. You now have one relic garrison. Relics garrisoned in your monastery will slowly add gold to your stockpile.
Oh, that's
The
convenient.
English are attacking our town. Can you tribute any spare food or gold to us? Thanks for the resources. If you
Where are
have
we
any
being
spare
attacked?
soldiers, come to our town and let's drive the
Oh,
English
they're
out.
asking for the allies to come? Okay.
Click the diplomacy button in the upper right corner of your screen. Give your allies some food and gold, but don't give them everything you own.
Okay. Scottish allies. Wait, so it says to click diplomacy. How do I actually give him stuff? English are the enemy. Scottish allies. Need a marketplace. Thought I had another cavalry guy over here. Maybe he died. Got ambushed.
You can use the technology tree to see what technologies and upgrades you can research. Click the technology tree button in the upper right corner of the screen to see the tree for your civilization.
Market. Try building it here. Does that cavalry not have a chance up by himself against that number of people? Apparently not. And when they're in range of enemies, they're pretty smart about fighting, it looks like. Okay, so I was not an even match. Got it. Let me build some more military units here in a second. Do I have any idle workers? I guess they're idle because this farm is depleted and they would have to build a new one. Like on the same square.
Have a market. The market can create trade cards to generate.
I had villagers in that force? I thought it was all,
one resource.
I thought I selected all of the soldiers.
For a small fee. Click the market, then click sell food for gold.
Queue up farms with the mill. Okay, and that just reseeds an existing farm instead of having to do it manually. I see. Let me try to build a military building, I guess. Guess I just have barracks by default. Or something that generates military units. Why weren't they showing as idle villagers earlier when I was clicking it? There's a separate military buildings tab. There we go, archers. Not enough wood. Okay. Any reason why those 6 to 8 villagers weren't showing up when I was clicking the idle worker button earlier? I assumed if I click that and it doesn't show me anybody that everyone's busy. Oh, it changes their status like lumberjack. It costs lots of wood, I see. So at some point they became idle or something? Militia, spearmen, upgrade, man-at-arms. Tech research, okay. Some cavalry. Some more archers. How can you quickly tell a villager? Is it just like their costume? So you just start repurposing people to get wood. Wood is a issue. Cavalry are technically military, but don't use them to fight. Okay. They're literally just meant to scout. Can I see how many relics I have here? Garrison units 1. Oh, there's only 1. So I guess the dude, oh, the monk was walking back and walked into the English and got killed. Okay. Only monks can pick up and carry relics? If I try the diplomacy tab again, okay, now I can share resources with them. I guess I can also trade. So how is tribute different from trading? I'm just giving them stuff? Like, does it make them friendlier to me or something? Okay, I got tons of food, so I'll replace some of these villagers. Thanks for the help, folks. This is not my genre. I can't because I don't have enough wood right now. I'm trying to fix the wood problem. Just meant for scouting. Okay. They are called scout cavalry. Okay, I thought it was just cavalry. I really like the soundtrack of this game. So I haven't found the third relic yet.
2 relics, garrison. Bring back 1 more and you'll be victorious.
Probably just have to keep exploring the map. It could be across the water, right? Looks like the edge of the map. Can't move through dense forests. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, sure. It's fully suspended. I have no idea what I'm doing. There's a lumber camp near the right side that's better. Okay, so the ones that are gathering over here are having to walk too far, I guess. And that's just like a feature of this stage that it started with a lumber camp there. But in future stages I might have to build that from scratch. 30 villagers. I can just like fill out that queue as long as I have the resources to be able to queue it, I guess. It's a lumber camp. Oh, chop wood faster. That's cool. Yeah, I really like the tech trees and stuff in this game. I'm still a little overwhelmed by the fact that there's just so much to do. Like if there was a turn-based version of this game where I was having to make that decision every round, it would help. Oh, it's like shallows, that's cool. English castle, it looks like. It's tech at the mill that makes farms last longer. I assume there's some, like, generally accepted to be correct order in which to do everything. Horse collar. I see. So this time the lumber camp, I guess I must have already, like, requested it. I like how much stuff stays on the minimap even after you don't have direct vision over it. Or is that just showing you, like, most recently you knew that there were red units there in the English castle, but that isn't necessarily updated information on the minimap in the corner there? So is it worth, should I be sending sheep to the city center rather than having them be out in the wild? State as you've last seen it. Guessing the last relic is in the English town somewhere. This game generally allows turtling, right? The AI is not super aggressive. Can I heal damaged units? I'm guessing no. Monks can heal. Do they have the unlimited ability to heal? Okay, so I can see my health bars, but not their health bars. This might be bad news bears, we'll see. Clicking their units shows you their health bars. So by drawing them out, I'm probably going to be in big trouble here, we'll see. They get close to the monks and the monks just start healing right away, that's good to know. Garrisoning does heal, okay. So they probably would have left me alone for a really long time if I hadn't have been scouting nearby and drawn them all over here. Did he steal my sheep? I think that's what just happened. So this guy's an actual knight, he's not scout cavalry, that's why I'm getting wrecked when I go to try to fight them. Go to your town center, ring the bell to the town center. Garrison inside the town center for protection during attacks. Ring the bell again to send the villagers back to work. So they're shooting arrows from the town center, is that what's happening? I see. Okay, and I can ring the bell again to get them out. Quick to repair this building to full hit points. Okay, so that didn't go great, but I think I learned some things, so that's good. Doing better with wood now, at least. Skirmisher, archer. Bonus versus archer. So I guess the gameplay loop is to make a ton of villagers, send them all off to do stuff, and then after you feel confident, make a ton of soldiers and then send them off to attack the enemy. Why do I want spearmen? Are they good versus cavalry or something? Yeah. Anti-cavalry. Yeah, like... Oh, the relics count as garrisoned units. That's weird. So can I make... If I want to make new monks, how do I do that? 'Cause I need monks to be able to not lose the scenario. It's a castle age.
We have enough soldiers now to think about attacking the English and recovering their relic.
Okay, well, I need more food first, it looks like. It just started me with monks to help me to understand the mechanic, but still required me to advance ages.
Here, take this food and wood.
Oh, thanks. Still not enough food. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. It's like they gave me units that I'm not supposed to have in this era. That's why I'm confused. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't start with monks at all if I was in a different era. Wait, I'm confused. I need more buildings. Okay. But they can only make so many farming patches, right? Not enough food. I see. So it's just like any other resource, like they can just make patches, but you want to make them as close to the mill as you can. Okay. So the reseed thing only works if the patch hasn't been completely degraded, I guess? Do they start working something that they build immediately, like once they make the farming patch? Will they start working on it, or do I have to reassign them? Hopefully this will help with food acquisition. I see. Build more houses. Build farms next to the town center. I like the oh shit button of putting them all in the town center to shoot arrows out. That's kind of cool. I think they're doing the farm rebuilding automatically. It just doesn't work if the patch is completely expired. If I let it sit for too long, basically. Researching Castle Age, okay. Try to build some more houses here. each house is +5 max units, is that right? Yeah, StarCraft unit selection cap was pretty frustrating. And I can have as many houses as there is space on the map. Seems like there's a lot of hard caps in this game. So I could sell wood, which I have lots of extras of, and buy food. Stone isn't really a thing yet. It's like 8 units or something in StarCraft. 12, that sounds right. Alright, so we'll give this a try. It's a bigger force. Controls feel really smooth in this game. So now I can generate monks. She'll need to send them in to recover the relic at the end. Oh, attack move is a thing again? Shit. Is there any RTS that makes attack move the default and you just have to opt out of it? Attack move. It sounds awful. It seems like every game I've ever played, like, everyone says you should always be doing that. Oh, it's those dudes that were fighting our ally. It feels like the weird default settings in a game like Diablo, where in Diablo you want to turn on force move, but that's not a default setting, but it's like the correct way to play the game. Basically always use force move to move rather than click to move. Unlock new upgrades. Pikeman. Oh, I see. These are... And they can't make more units while they're researching something? Does that upgrade all of my existing units? Like, do all of my archers become crossbowmen once that finishes, or only newly generated units after the fact? We actually have any skirmishers right now. So I could send him to go help heal, I guess. Upgrades like that just kind of like affect their stats for the most part. Bosa, excuse me. Heavy plow. That's cool. Okay. I don't know if... So I guess there's like certain sustenance points you can get to. Like you can make it so that you always have enough wood to continually to replace your farms forever, and then you want to try to get your wood generation point to be a little bit higher than that, so you're actually creating a store. Blacksmith. Trading cavalry have +1 attack. Oh, that's cool.
Bid fear.
I'm doing my best to suppress RTS anxiety, but just the fact that I should be doing something all the time gets me pretty bad in StarCraft too. Blacksmith has good range upgrades. Hey Ludifex, how you doing? Fletching. Oh, you can continually get... So if you have multiple blacksmiths, can they research multiple techs at the same time, or is just one at a time? I want the armor upgrade. Most of my units are melee right now. I'll get it eventually, though. Each one can research one thing, but then they're, like, superfluous once you have all the tech, I guess. That drum noise is the sound of having finished something, I guess. This game seems a lot cleaner for the most part. It seems easier to misplay in Age of Empires, if that makes sense. Bodkin arrow. Plus one attack and range. I don't have food. StarCraft kind of has the stripped down thing that there's not that much in terms of like building specific tech. I think forests are getting deforested, yeah. I think it takes a long time to do. You'd have to be stuck on a stage for a really long time, I think, for it to really matter. Cavalry archer. So did I have to like get prerequisites for that, or is that just the thing that I can make in the Castle Age? Imperial Age. 1,000 food, 800 gold, 2 Castle Age buildings. Castle Age buildings are Monastery University, improved buildings and missile units. Two new military buildings. Okay. Barracks, archery range, says stable and siege workshop. Jeez. Cavalry at +1 normal, +1 pierce armor. Padded archer armor sounds good. Build more houses. I think mechanically this is my favorite of the RTS games I've played on stream so far. The trivial ability to misplay every game tick is a little stressful for me, so I'm doing my best to push through that. I guess it's probably the same as StarCraft. It's like, yeah, you're misplaying every microsecond, but does it matter? I think that in these early missions, it probably doesn't matter. That I'll still just be able to go in and just zerg the enemy castle and win. Other archer armor. Build the castle over by where your military forces. You pretty much shut down the enemy's offensive ability. You can build a castle, so that they like can't come and attack me. I see. Oops, I think I selected a villager by accident there. So it sounds like it's quite a bit more forgiving. Light cavalry. Cavalry move faster. Knights, scout cavalry. University, murder holes. Oh, how did you know that, Kiri? Heated shot. So this is all stuff that would be like if I was really fortifying my town. Oh, thank you. Alright, well, it's time. I'm gonna go try to attack their castle and see what happens. I don't know that it's not necessarily like it's just that everyone who plays RTS games has been playing them for a long time. It's just the games as written, like, there's an optimal path in any game, right? Sometimes the optimal path comes down to frame data, like if you're playing Dark Souls and the enemy doesn't attack, like, as long as you dodge somewhere within the frame window, the frame forgiveness window, then you won't get hit. And that's the optimal thing to do, is to avoid damage, right? Every game has some sort of optimal path, but RTS games are stressful because, like the minimum resolution of the optimal path is like less than a frame in many cases. Even if it's just like your attention level, like you should be looking at this part of the screen and sending people to scout and, you know, upgrading tech trees the moment they become available. And it's not that I play any game optimally, but it's just knowing that I am 1/1 billionth of optimal is very stressful for me. But like all we're saying, it seems like this is good enough, so it doesn't really matter. So can the monks heal from fairly far back, it looks like? So I'll try to make a couple more and send them to help out. It looks like units, when you're selecting a giant group of them, they try to go to their optimal range. Like I don't have to micro and tell the archers to stand back. They won't get closer than they need to.
Bid fear. Bid fear. Bid fear.
That's cool.
Bid fear. Kjart. Toe. Bid fear. Bid fear. Toe. Kjart. Bid fear.
So which ones are town center? Can I see like a tooltip? I have to click on it. That's the market. This is the mill. Barracks. You are being attacked by the English.
Bid fear. Bid fear.
Is that what this is? Town center, okay. Just here for the relic. Oh, there it is. I didn't see it. Thought it was past here. So, like, if the computer was a smart other player, as soon as I showed up, they probably would have rang the bell, and then the villagers would have put up a fight with bows from there, I guess. I guess they sent their entire force at me earlier and then didn't really replace any of them. They ring the bell, but I had too many units. I just overwhelmed them. Okay. How did you know that they rang the bell? Was there like a sound effect or something? Or they would have like come back and taken me out because they would have assumed that I was so far behind on economy. They were shooting from it. Okay, I didn't see that. It looks like this villager's trying to chase me down, or like they're just building stuff over here. Okay. Flag atop the building indicates a garrison. Oh, okay. That just means there are units in this building.
Congratulations! You've captured all 3 relics.
Just a flesh wound. Follow the Celts. English defeated. Oh, my allies got defeated at some point? Really? Quick menu, then quick current game exit. Go ahead and make a save. See what the next one is.
3 relics now locked away safely in Scottish churches. Men murmur that we are blessed by the heavens. Our army now stands a chance as we prepare for the final clash with the English. Scotland now has archers and knights of our own with which to meet Longshanks. We march south.
They just had whatever units they started with. Because that mission was supposed to just teach me go get relics.
And plan our combined attack upon the English castle.
Cool.
The only way we can hold the boggy lowlands around Falkirk is to build a castle and as many walls as we can construct in a short time. These fortifications will serve to protect our camp as we construct siege weapons with which to assault the English castle. Once the castle is constructed, Wallace himself has sworn to join our forces, and together we will attack Longshanks and his English troops.
Build a castle, destroy the English castle. Okay.
The English could attack at any time. You have some walls already, but you should complete them as soon as you have enough stone.
So, where am I gathering stone from? I don't think I had anyone working on that last level. Okay, so kind of pre-place your villagers there. Is that what this is? This is masonry. Let me find the town center, make some more villagers here.
If you have surplus resources of one type, you can sell them for gold at your
These
market.
rocks here.
You can then use the gold to buy what you need.
Alright, so how does building a castle work? Is it just a building somewhere in the town, or is it like actually building walls all around the place? It's just a building. Okay. And what makes the castle special? I need to make it to Castle Age to build it. So I don't start in Castle Age in this one. I'm in Feudal
You can
Age.
also build
Okay.
towers to defend your city. Units can garrison within a tower for defense and protection, and archers can even fire out of a tower.
So does that not show up as an option right away? The advanced age button? Is it only after you're like getting close to the prerequisite or something? I really wish StarCraft had the idle worker button. Oh, it blocks you from doing anything else while you're constructing units. Okay. Sounds like there's a sound effect indicator that tells me when a unit finishes building. I'm trying to listen for it. Build a trade cart.
Build a castle. you must first advance to the next age, the Castle Age.
Let's go ahead and start researching as much as I can there. Creates men at arms.
The advance buttons let you set combat
So
state
is the
for
main
your
role of
soldiers.
gold to trade for
A defensive
resources
soldier
instead of
will be
buying them,
less
or is
likely to attack an
gold
enemy that
necessary
comes
for
near
certain
it.
specific upgrades
The
too?
military unit, then note the combat stance buttons on the lower left corner of the screen.
Combat stance.
Using the advance
Aggressive.
buttons, you can also order a soldier to patrol an area between 2 points and guard or follow another unit.
Being attacked by the English. Okay, so I think that those are as upgraded as they can be for now. Try to help out with the lumberjack camp. I guess one of the big things that StarCraft does is it really makes abstracted resources. There's really just two, but it's pretty common in these games where there'd be all sorts of resources like stone and gold and
type of formation.
wood
For
and
example,
food.
With a box formation, you can protect a weak unit such as a monk.
Okay. Probably won't be good enough to use formations ever. So my scout cavalry are basically expendable. Like I should try to avoid getting them killed if I can, but if they die gaining information, that's not the worst thing, right? And I guess in StarCraft you use SCVs for that purpose. Oh, this is a knight. Do I not start with cavalry in this one? I thought knights were Castle Age only. Is that just a quirk of the campaign that they sometimes give you units before you're supposed to be able to have access to them? Not enough food. Okay. Oh, but that's removing some, like, roads. Do units move more quickly over pavement or something? Directorial focus ones and have one or two. I see. I kind of dig it. It's a neat
You have enough
concept.
resources to go to the Castle Age. You should do that soon.
Oh, I must have just done something that cost food. So if I recall correctly, food's not a thing that's being consumed constantly. It's a thing that you spend on, like, upgrades, and it's necessary to generate new units, but then, like, you spend it once. Okay. I kind of like that. It's a little more abstract. Nothing is consumed constantly. Okay, that's good to know. That makes things a little bit less stressful. So, okay, when it's like you're being attacked by the English, we start this mission with outposts already built that provided some vision of those areas, and the English are just like moving to them and destroying them. Are outposts garrisoned by default? Are there like people in these units, in these buildings? Or do they just provide vision automatically? It's just a tower. Okay, that's cool. But you can set them out there, build them. Oh shit, right, I need to queue these. Working on the wood thing. Son of a bitch. Just get the military units. I'm enjoying it so far. It's pretty straightforward. So you start as the Celts. So if they destroy one of my houses, then I can still have... Like, units don't just die, I just can't build more units above the cap. I'll have, like, 34 out of 30 or something until I replace the house.
Congratulations. You're going to find lots of things to do in the Castle Age. For starters, try building a siege workshop to make battering rams and other siege weapons.
Does she not want to automatically? Oh, I don't have wood still. Okay. There we go. So, okay. Let me repurpose one of these folks, maybe like one of the gold miners or something. So if I want to build a castle, what's a good place to build one? University, monastery, I guess it's a military building. Castle. Whoa, that doesn't look good. The heck even is that? Battering ram.
You may need to assign extra villagers to gather stones so
I'll be
you'll
right
have enough
back.
to
My
build the castle
niece is crying.
and all the fortifications you'll need.
I'll pause the timer 1 second. Babysitting. Sorry about that. I'm babysitting her a little late than I normally would be this week for reasons. She was really upset. Woke up from her nap. I think she's fine now, though. Watching her on baby cam. Alright, let's get a little bit further. We only have a couple minutes left before we switch games. I want to leave my future self some tips. Battering rams. Just kind of chilling over here. It's pretty great. So can I assign multiple workers to build the same building? I see the health building up here. Okay. Quick building by assigning a ton of people. Let the castle finish building here. So garrisoning in a castle like gives them big defensive bonuses, or does it kind of work like the ring the bell thing with the town center? They can shoot arrows out of it.
Great! You've completed the castle. Farewell, your
Oh, that answers that. It's like a giant turret.
time to attack the English.
I see. Okay, future Marstead, here's what you need to know. This mission, first of all, saving in this game is weird. Like when you go to load your games, pause it here. When you go to load your game, it's going to load a replay first. And maybe that's just the thing that happens in the tutorial and it makes more sense later. Make sure you back out of that menu. You're in the very last level of the tutorial. The goal is to build a castle. You've done that. Maybe build another castle on the other weak side of the village. Build tons of villagers. Get lots and lots of resources. Build an enormous force, turtle up, and then go nuke the enemy, and you should be able to win. Maybe watch a little bit more of this video. There's a lot of really good tips at the very beginning of it when folks are explaining what to do. Let's do end of session. This game is really cool, though. I enjoy it. I'm just bad at it, so thank you for all being so helpful. Would you like to save a replay? Oh, okay. That makes sense.